by security forces. He was also a candidate on the so-called Freedom and Dignity electoral list for the Palestinian parliamentary elections, which were supposed to take place back on May 22nd, but were called off last month by President Abbas, as it appeared he was headed for a landslide defeat. But we go to Ramallah now, where Mohammed Ajib joins us, Palestinian security analyst. Thanks for being with us, Mohammed. What exactly happened? We know that Banat was crossed many red lines here, but first of all, what happened during his arrest? Did he die at home or after he was taken into custody somewhere else?
Yes, according to his family, at 3:30 earlier today, 20 Palestinian security personnel raided his house and started beating him violently. And he was shouting and crying, then took him alive in the vehicles to the security center. A short time later, the governor of Hebron declared that he has been died, and they transferred his body to the Hebron hospital. The family said that he was alive when he arrested, and they said also the Palestinian Authority has hidden his body because they were searching for his body after his death in all the hospitals in Hebron, and they can find that. Amid a lot of condemnation and denouncing for this by Palestinian human rights activists, Palestinian politicals, and politicians, and all the activists from supporting the freedom of expression, and see that this is like a political assassination for Banat.
Now, about his recent moves himself, he appears he's clearly crossed too many red lines for President Abbas. He called recently for the European Union to end funding to what he was calling the corrupt Palestinian Authority. He was leveling heavy criticism also on President Abbas for his botched coronavirus vaccine deal with Israel this last week. Are those assumed to be the reasons why he was suddenly apprehended, or at least attempted to apprehend him by security forces?
Yes, he was very tough and the strongest critical of Palestinian Authority policy toward different issues: the political corruption, the financial corruption, the administrative corruption, the dealing with the Palestinians, the cancellation of the elections. So I can say that following the Abbas decision to cancel the elections, the Palestinian security heavily cracked down on political activists. Some of their candidates, some received the threats. So it is a kind of threatening the people, and now the Palestinian activists calling for an international investigative committee to investigate his death this early morning.
Now, along those lines, in reality, any likely fallout for President Abbas over an issue like this?
Right now, the Palestinian Authority says also it will investigate that. It formulated a committee to investigate his death, but it's earlier to judge how he has passed away, if he was suffers of any disease or what's happened exactly, no one knows. But the family confirmed that he arrested alive, and they beaten him toughly and violently at his house when they arrested him. And because the intentions of the Palestinian Authority toward him is not that good, so the Palestinians expected the worst, and it have used the extra violence against him, which maybe caused his death at the moment. And this sent a tough message to the Palestinian activists, or the Palestinian critical of the Palestinian Authority, human rights activists, political activists. So it is a very shock for the Palestinians this morning. If you go to the social media, you can find how they react to that.
Certainly not encouraging to any of the opposition movements out there. Mohammed Ajib, thanks for joining us from Ramallah.